Hallo? Ah, jetzt geht's. Wie kriegt bei der Signature Breakback halt Topmodel oder was?
We do have a, let's go. Do we have a Fletcher?
Oh mal ja, 100.000 Mal Minecraft offen.
If it's smoking in the city, plan I work no 9 to 5. Pull out to your job, drive through, drive by, got you. Ha ha, look me in my soul. You should probably see the devil, that's the demon zone. Put that nigga in a wheelchair, he still holding on. Next time I see that boy, I'ma grab his
Ja.
hand and roll him home. Fuck niggas, and my wrist is sick.
Etwas Vergleichbares hat es in der Geschichte der USA noch nie gegeben. Es begann mit einem Treffen zur Vereinbarung eines Rohstoffabkommens und es endete mit einem Rauswurf des Gastes. Volodymyr Zelensky, der ukrainische Präsident, war gestern zu Gast im Weißen Haus bei US-Präsident Donald Trump und bei seinem Stellvertreter J.D. Vance. Im Rahmen eines Pressegesprächs kam es zu einer heftigen Auseinandersetzung, die letztlich eskalierte. Nach diesem Gespräch musste Volodymyr Zelensky, eigentlich ein Partner der USA, das Weiße Haus verlassen. Wie kam es zu dieser Eskalation? Welche Folgen hat sie und wie sind die Auswirkungen auch auf uns in Europa und in Deutschland? Darum geht es jetzt. Wie immer an dieser Stelle ein Hinweis. Das, was gestern passiert ist, ist längst noch nicht abgeschlossen. Es ist eine dynamische Entwicklung, deshalb habe ich euch unten in den Kommentaren und in der Infobox einen Live-Blog verlinkt. Da werdet ihr auf dem Laufenden gehalten. Ich nehme dieses Video hier am Samstagvormittag auf. Das, was danach passiert, kann ich natürlich in diesem Video hier nicht abbilden, aber dazu erfahrt ihr dann mehr über den Link. Und jetzt wie immer die Frage zu Beginn, was ist passiert? Volodymyr Zelensky, der Präsident der Ukraine, war zu Gast in den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Es war ein Besuch, der lange geplant war. Es ging um ein Rohstoffabkommen. Ein Rohstoffabkommen, das Volodymyr Zelensky ursprünglich angestoßen hatte und das für beide Seiten wirtschaftliche Vorteile bringen soll. Für die USA und auch für die Ukraine. Das Abkommen hat ein Unterhändler auf den Weg gebracht. Was noch nicht drinsteht aktuell, das sind militärische Sicherheitsgarantien, die mit der Lieferung von Rohstoffen verknüpft werden sollen. Das möchte Volodymyr Zelensky und das war eines seiner Anliegen, weshalb weshalb er in die USA gereist ist. Es kam zu einem Termin im Weißen Haus. Im Oval Office saß man vor dem Kamin, wie fast alle Staatsgäste, die offiziell zu Besuch sind im Weißen Haus. Und dann gab es so eine Art Pressekonferenz. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance und Volodymyr Zelensky saßen da nebeneinander. Und dann hat man eine längere Zeit Statements abgegeben. Insgesamt 40 Minuten ging diese Pressekonferenz. Und gegen Ende ist diese Runde allerdings eskaliert. Schaut selbst mal rein.
You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war,
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Ja, es sind Szenen, wie man sie so in dieser Form vermutlich noch nie gesehen hat. Vor den Augen der Weltöffentlichkeit geraten zwei Verbündete im Oval Office des Weißen Hauses heftig aneinander. Auf der einen Seite Trump und Vance, die Zelensky vorwerfen, er wäre nicht dankbar genug für die Milliardenhilfen der USA. Und auf der anderen Seite Zelensky, der Trump unterstellt, er würde Putin unterschätzen. Es kommt zu einer Eskalation, ihr habt das eben gesehen, und nach dieser Eskalation geht die ukrainische Delegation in einen Nebenraum, wartet dort einige Zeit und muss dann das Weiße Haus verlassen. Es hätte eigentlich noch ein gemeinsames Essen geben sollen, das findet allerdings nicht mehr statt. In einem anschließenden kurzen Statement auf seinem Mediendienst Truth Social sagt Donald Trump, Zelensky könne zurückkommen, wenn er wirklich Frieden wolle. Und Zelensky, wir sprechen darüber auch gleich noch ein bisschen genauer, gibt kurz darauf ein Interview bei dem konservativen Sender Fox News in den USA und sagt dort sinngemäß, er bedauere, wie es gelaufen sei, aber er werde sich nicht dafür entschuldigen. Jetzt muss man zunächst sagen, dass es auch zwischen befreundeten Staaten mal zu heftigen Meinungsverschiedenheiten kommen kann, dass es auch mal laut werden kann. Das ist nichts Ungewöhnliches. Aber dass das in der Öffentlichkeit stattfindet, zumal an einem so offiziellen Ort wie dem Oval Office im Weißen Haus, das ist definitiv unüblich. Das hat es in den USA in dieser Form noch nicht gegeben. Und deshalb ist natürlich die Frage, wie kam es überhaupt dazu? Was sind die Hintergründe? Interessant aber ist, dass nicht nur dieses Treffen eine Vorgeschichte hat, sondern dass auch Donald Trump und Zelensky eine Vorgeschichte haben. Eines der Amtsenthebungsverfahren gegen Donald Trump hängt indirekt mit Zelensky zusammen. Mehr dazu erfahrt ihr unten in der Infobox. Und auch in der jüngeren Vergangenheit sind die beiden immer wieder aneinander geraten. Vor einiger Zeit hat Trump Zelensky zum Beispiel als Diktator bezeichnet und er hat behauptet, die Ukraine sei schuld daran, dass Russland sie angegriffen habe. Zelensky hat das nicht auf sich sitzen lassen, hat entsprechend reagiert. Und im Wahlkampf Trump gegen Harris hat Zelensky immer wieder Sympathien für das Harris-Lager gezeigt, für die Demokraten getreten. Das hat wiederum Trump Zelensky übel genommen. Und Trump hat auch durchblicken lassen, dass er gar nicht unbedingt so traurig darüber wäre, wenn Zelensky künftig nicht mehr Präsident der Ukraine wäre. Und auch beim dritten, der in dieser Runde dabei war, gibt es eine Vorgeschichte. J.D. Vance hat 2022 wörtlich gesagt, es ist mir egal, was mit der Ukraine passiert. Später hat er das zwar ein Stück weit relativiert, aber diese Ignoranz gegenüber der Ukraine wurde ihm auch im Wahlkampf immer wieder vorgeworfen und es ist ihm nicht gelungen, das ausreichend zu entkräften.
Money talks. Money talks. The Serpentine. Nee. Talk about.
Oh, ich Wichser. Mann, ihr fetten Mistviecher, Alter. Ja, GG, Junge. Dreckige Mistfotzen, Alter.
Sundown, I'm on the E-way, all my time is distant. I got a bad habit of treat my digits like my women. Oil them up and make them pretty. Put her on some long extension. Finger fuck, she go to spin. Look me in my eyes. Tell me, have you ever witnessed M1 killings? Ever spent in double back because the clip went empty. We don't shoot our houses, we walk down, hop out vehicles. What the fuck, nigga? Look me in my eyes. Just look me in my eyes and tell me that's how this shit go. What you know about move your folks so you can handle smoke. Night owl with that Drake must be OBO. What the fuck, nigga?
Look me in my eyes, tell me what you see. If I get that news that he survived, he going back down that street. For them flying for weeks, we won't get back to beat. He got burned, got caught in the one in the heat. Should've been trying to beef, bitch. I was like tourists, pop out on my block just taking pictures. I don't care if you keep your gun, little boy, you ain't no killer. Interrogations, I do drugs, no sir, I can't remember. It's the Hemi and this scat, no, we can't surrender. And my windows tinted, really push it under. I got blood diamonds in my pendant. I got a feeling they'll use my lyrics in my sentence. We pop out and play with switches. Anywhere them bitches get it, 40 Glock, my pistol kicking.
Look me in my eyes. Tell me, have you ever witnessed M1 killings? Ever spent in double back because the clip went empty. We don't shoot our houses, we walk down, hop out vehicles. What the fuck, nigga? Look me in my eyes. Just look me in my eyes and tell me that's how this shit go. What you know about move your folks so you can handle smoke. Night owl with that Drake must be OVO. What the fuck, nigga?
Louis Vuitton umbrella when I walk through the rain in the kitchen whipping chicken kind of bread like Kane's good dog got a Mexican looking like Johnny Dine heat deep muddy water stick carrying my cane right pocket got money left pocket cocaine bulletproof white Cadillac riding in the tank I'm a dirty bad baby from dirty bay with a dirty case slide down your block light it up with flames chopping down the block while the leg doing jumper jacks smoking on the wood yellow timber like it's lumberjack suppressor on the Mac 10 sounding like it's bubble wrap TV in the shower I'ma give his ass a bubble bath choppers and choppers little bitch I got a whole lot of that with the steel I'ma kill y'all I got him falling got me feeling like a baby that's finished so with my bottle that I'm just rhyming words I don't even know how to rap. Every time they see me, better believe that I'm flossed up. Got flossed up, dick in the dirt, then I bounced up. I be catching these fuck around and get moused up. I be eating the booty like Sally, get it tossed up. Pop trunk on the hat while we waving goodbye. I'm from Lone Star, sipping lean with pecan pie. I don't play by respect for that, we gon' die. Time and money, so baby believe I'ma be on time. Louis Vuitton umbrella when I walk through the rain in the kitchen with the chicken kind of bread like Kane's good dog. Got a Mexican looking like Johnny Dine heat deep muddy water stick carrying my cane. Right pocket got money left pocket cocaine bulletproof white Cadillac riding in the tank. I'm a dirty bad baby from dirty bay with a dirty case slide down your block light it up with flames.
In the leg smoked out, long falls poked out, keep peas in the drought, get the money down south, feeling like Johnny Dang, got diamonds in my chain, hit your bitch in the guts with this big old thing. I got ice on my neck like it's rolling. They called in the bitch, yeah, these diamonds look frozen. Real players get chose, so you know that I be chosen. Got exotic in my pocket, grab a slap with it and I roll it. I stay out the way, don't be all in the mix. Call me for sevens, don't call me for six. I ain't selling no grams, bitch, come buy a zip. See the streets getting dry, finna go and take a trip, let's deal. Hold up, wait a minute, if I get it, then I spin it. When I'm in it, can't pretend it, keep it tinted with my business. I'm relentless, ain't no witness. I got 2 rent houses and the bitches getting rented. Bitch up in the box for a minute.
Umbrella when I walk through the rain in the kitchen whipping chicken kind of bread like Kane's good dog got a Mexican looking like Johnny Dine heat deep muddy water stick carrying my cane right pocket got money left pocket cocaine bulletproof white Cadillac riding in the tank I'm a dirty bad baby from dirty bay with a dirty case slide down your block light it up with flames
Gill. Das ist schon ein Dreckslied, Alter.
Like a slow jam, my chain so heavy, I'm walking like an old man. Try me, you gon' get tagged like a spray paint can. Smoking something from Spokane, I'm getting throwed. It's getting cold, put on a coat, my ice froze. Riding foes, I'm poking out on nice toes. Drive slow, my trunk up and the lights glow. When I'm sitting so low to the ground, I might scrape it. Nothing fake, candy to paint, I might flake it. Riding down 288 in the top vacant. Thinking you gon' run up on me, then you mistaken. Getting baked, breaking them off and leaving stains. I came through dripping the puddle, you thought it rained. Everything flawed. flawless from the grills to the chain. I done spent a lot of change, now I'm looking like Johnny
Louis
Day.
Vuitton umbrella when I walk through the rain. In the kitchen with the chicken kind of bread like kind. Good dog, got a Mexican looking like Johnny Dane. Eat deep muddy water stick, carry my cane. Right pocket got money, left pocket cocaine. Bulletproof white Cadillac riding in the tank. I'm a dirty bad baby from dirty bag with a dirty cane. Slide down your block, light it up.
Yeah, strap. Yeah, yeah. We don't do content. Run it all times 10. I'm for pockets filled. That bitch got bad lip filled. Scouts all on my brand new rigs. I'm trying to make them feel in it. I'm a real ugly city. Niggas scared of real trenches. Yeah, he gang, but he ain't ganger. I wouldn't split my pill with him. These niggas dumb, they're still a stack. You was trying to make a meal with him. When I call you twin, your eyes, my eyes, I promise I go spin with you. I hit that bitch, her bestie too. I fucked up they whole friendship. I'm throwing foes and pulling foes. You know I can't be fucked with. I hit the club with a special dough. You ain't even know it open. I went flat broke so many times, couldn't tell cause I ain't sure. I'm such a fucking rock star, man, it's rips and all my clothes. The game is tatted, I'm responsible for your dead homie. These niggas good at in their thug and think they'll tell on me. I'm sitting first class with dope.
I'm not in a mood, cause my flight delayed. So I jumped on a private jet and I'm asking a pilot the ETA. Lambo parked on a landing strip, everyone in my gang and my DJ paid. Why is my man talking about inshallah? These times he don't even pray. Why is my man wearing a Jesus piece? How did she squeeze in them jeans? Big behind and petite waist. Take time with the GBG, we don't beef nobody like GBK. Woke up on the wrong side of bed, so he's gonna get slapped if I don't have my piece to
Boah, noch ein Emerald. Dann kann ich mir Full Dia ziehen.
We don't need ID, low bro 17 in the club being scrolling TikTok. F's just saw him, I'll flick one. Which one? Who do you want, bro? Pick one. If I shoot my shot, I'll hit one. Matter of time till I get them all ticked off. Alright. We could go ban for ban.
Fuck that, we can go FM. Oh, down there, but a Maybach drop. Double out the factory in. I got a name.
It's got to the point that I don't even care. I got jewels in a safe that I don't even wear. Bro, I do it for some shoes and some clothes. You'll see what it'll do for a necklace. Right, sure, look like a spider. It's crawling $1 on just the accessories. She made me wanna go harder. I like her harder. I think I'm obsessed with her. They hit him up on his birthday. Did him the worst way. He had a deal for it. I get right under their skin. I don't even try. I guess I can't help this shit. I'ma have love for bro for life.
Gib mir! Och, Junge, du Fotzenbastard.
Catch up with him, knocking a bag and making the opposite mad. I didn't fall in love with it. You can't sell fish with a cute one. Bank account look good, it's a new one. You the type, like the type on computers. Got a mask, but he ain't no shooter. Top 10, but she don't act bougie. Me and your friends can go to a restaurant. Quick friends, go to my music. Maybach Vans, ain't no who. We can go band for band. Fuck that, we can go M for M. Mama got a body like Kim and them. Mama been killing that gym. We can go watch from chain to chain to ring for him. I done got rich, but I'm still with this shit land in London and go to the ends. We could go band for band. Fuck that, we can go M for M. What I'm known for the Maybach truck. Double R with the factory rims. I got the 90, the years, the versions, the bribes, I'm really a threat. It's got to the point that I don't even care. I got jewels in the safe. Hating that nigga cause I got it out the mud. Hating in the family, nigga be on blood. Screaming for a 12 to the DA and the judge. Never been a dog, never been a scrub. 4-5 Glock 9, all you want to judge. Better than who must be high on them drugs. Cooling in the mansion with the bubbles in the tub. Heard you wanna cover, you a bitch, you was a stud. Say, yes, nigga, don't try me. And a lamb, I be damn if a nigga try me. Getting ham with the fam and a nigga gotta eat. Shot a 9, I'm a bust, I'm a trick for a treat. Before I bought the lamb, I was riding in the Jeep. 500 horses with a stick on the seat. Fuck that nigga, he'll fall when it's heat. Go against the cold for the dough, boy, you weak. Go against the grain, man, he know it. Cartier frames, I can see a nigga brain. Cartier bracelet, it matching with the chain. Dirt up on my name, and you niggas should be shamed. Knock off a boost when I'm throwing up game. Diamonds fruit loose when it's watching this plane. My dog got the juice and no smoking propane. I'm gunning, I'm run to the money. Hussein, who talking, who telling, who saying? I'm selling prescription cocaine. She fuck with my pimp and my cane. I'm Michael, I'm not no Jermaine. Jealousy, that shit gon' eat your heart out. This an AR sawed off, we'll slay your squad out. This the beach you brought out. This a fish we ball out. I eat your heart out. I pull your card out. It's simple, put holes in this face like it's dimple. You come with new make it limp. He play with me, blowing me, rising my temple. I got millions of rest in my match in my temple. I'm gangster, but with your bitch I get gentle. Wangster, take out your teeth like it's dental. I'm blanking, you eat this Glock, I'm Miss Winners.
Look, ain't no bitch finna front on me.
Digga, ich höre nicht Cardi B. Digga, ich bin so stacked, ne? Aber ich bin so confident, dass ich mit dem Inventar ihn fighte. Gut gespielt, Diggi. Hat er überlebt? Oh Mann, ich dachte, ich bin gestorben. Alter, was machen meine Mates hier? So. Zack.
One nigga still think he got one up on me, but his day still coming. I don't make threats, no promise. I just drop bags like comets. Don't even ask me about dead folks, cause I ain't got no comment. I run my M's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100. I ain't arguing on no internet, I'm not whack 100. Miami, no shirt just to show off the tats on my stomach. It's old and broken, out of shape, and sick make me vomit. It's been 18 years later, and my stock still ain't plummet. Had to bet on myself and made something from nothing. Niggas saying they did this and that for me. Gon' throw they hand in and stop all that blush. I took a little bit of piece of the pill and started tripping for real. Sitting in the back of the back counting M's. I'm on the block like I'm a rim. Dripping in fabric, it's gallery trim. We don't do cameras, no baby, no film. Back-to-back challenges, demon that's dim. Rolling the blunt while she gripping the wheel. And she got body, I'm up in the real. Yeah, she bad, she jump out and kill. Probably to the hoop with a deal. Bare feet when I run through the field. 500K straight cash with a gill. Fuck son, she get a bag for the year. 32 bricks like Shaquille O'Neal. Iced out wrist chandelier. Huncho crazy, flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit, gotta stay dangerous. Flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit, gotta stay dangerous. I'm on rich nigga shit. I spent 2,000 on rich nigga fits. I keep it coming on rich nigga dick. Put a friends in the group that's a rich nigga. Baby girl, baby girl, ain't no more saying spook me, baby girl.
Mir egal, Digga, ich hab's Bett geholt.
Some of you knew this, cho chew this. Huncho crazy, flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit, gotta stay dangerous. Let's go crazy, flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit, gotta stay dangerous. Huncho crazy, flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit, gotta stay dangerous. Let's go crazy, flex up, baby. That's my bitch and that's my baby. Rich nigga shit, make you famous. Rich nigga shit. Yeah, him, 5 M's. Residential roller, yeah, you know my name, and you best believe I told it. Glizzock be the name, and this bitch just said I'm goated. I just bought it yesterday, but drive it like it's stolen. Hey, that ain't enough money in your pocket if you can fold it. Big and shiny hurt my shoulder, $1,000 in my soda. Red, Richard, Coca-Cola. Hey, when you really getting
Einfach Minecraft. Gerne noch, aber Diggi. Paul 47 Skrr. Das klar, leckt gar nicht. Bester Server. Was ist denn das? Ich konnte nicht schnell genug B2 drücken. Digga! Ja, der ist halt so schlecht. Er rennt halt einfach nur, ne? Und dadurch, dass es so leckt, kann ich ihn nicht richtig hitten. Alles klar. Also, Digga. ist auch mein Ping und ich verstehe nie warum. Man weiß, dass jemand schlecht ist, wenn er komplett den Kampf verwaltet und einfach nur durchrennen will. Beziehungsweise ich mache das auch manchmal, aber wenn das ihre einzige Strat ist, die sie haben, dann weiß man, dass jemand schlecht ist. Nur manchmal das nicht und das mache ich auch. Ja, da ist aber 2307, was ist das für ein Name? Also Digga, ey, das sagt auch ehrlich. Die Runde Fortnite gestern habe ich übrigens noch gewonnen. Dank den Smoke-Granaten, das war richtig intens am Ende. Hab ich gerade Minecraft gesagt? Ich meine Fortnite. Weil ich Minecraft gesagt habe, meine ich Fortnite.
I'm in the town in the drop top coupe with a motor in the trunk you can hear. And all about how they want me to lose, but I'm W due for a win. Fucking this bitch in the orgy, I'm having this no money, pull up her legs. Off from a dummy, you don't see how I'm coming. When this is young and I've been had to shoot out some money all under my bed. 2018 came a million, I made it cool, real niggas thought it'd be dead. I'm getting cold, my body cold, I took a little hit.
Den Modus nie, die Map klar recht nie. So, ich muss kurz meine Sache wieder zurückdingsen. Das ist auf 4%. Klar, Digga. Ines. Geiler Name. Alter, was ein Bot ist das bitte? ein Bastard, Alter. So was von gehardscoped. Digga, ja. Alter, der Typ ist so schlecht, Mann. Alter, Mann, ich hasse AR-Spieler einfach nur. Alter, so schlecht, Mann. Yo, genau.
Das machen wir wieder bitte. Hallo, habe ich eigentlich ja. Aber das schon was. Alter.
Kräften. Außerdem gab es in den vergangenen Wochen
A few weeks ago, I was out and about on 2B2T, filming my last video about chicken lag, and I wanted to get some footage of one of the chickenators, a machine that contains literally thousands of chickens. But in the process, I broke a lot of de facto rules of 2B2T, and was straight up being complacent, which ended up in my main account being logout trapped by a crystal PvPer. So how did this happen? How did I get out of this? And what can myself and you learn from this? Well, here's the full story. It all started in the Nether, when I went through a portal that was very close to one of the chickenators in the overworld. But despite there being 2 players in render distance, one of which literally being in the portal with me, I for some reason decided it would still be a good idea to go through. After all, none of them tried to kill me, yet. Regardless, I started digging down to the chickenator, where an AFK account was stationed, and I started getting my video footage of the machine, only until a completely different account started digging down towards me. Yet again, I for some reason didn't make any attempts to escape, as I thought I was fine. Boy, was I wrong. As you just saw, I made quite a number of mistakes when being around spawn on 2B2T. First off, never ever go through a portal when there are other players around you that you don't know. You never know if they're gonna follow you. Now let's say that you broke that rule. You could easily have enough time to fly out of render distance with an elytra and be safe. But instead, I dug down because I wanted my video footage of the machine. This was a horrible idea because I would literally have no escape path from the players following me because I'm surrounded by blocks. Even then, I could have had time to maybe dig my way out, but I didn't. Probably the only redeeming factor I had in this situation was having enough totems with an auto totem mod to tell me that I was screwed and that I should log out, as I didn't have any crystal PvP gear or knowledge. Okay, so now the crystal PvPer had my logout spot. Now what? Maybe he'll camp there for an hour or two, get bored, and log off. Right? Yeah, no. 24 hours goes by, and I decided to use my alt to see if someone was still camping me. And surely enough, yes. And it was a different account too. Ugh. Looks like these guys were literally on a schedule where they would rotate positions for camping my C1 account logout spot. I literally couldn't do anything. If I logged into my main, I would be killed instantly. So more days went by, and every time I check, someone was still there. At this point, it has almost been 2 whole weeks. I log onto my alt yet again, check my logout coordinates, and oh my gosh, how and why is someone still here? I had no idea how long this was gonna go, and at this point, I had to make a moral decision. Let them waste their life away camping my logout spot, or make them do the unthinkable. Touch grass. So I thought I should go with the moral route. Operation Touch Grass was initiated. Here was the plan. I first took a world download of my logout spot to understand the layout. At first glance, it wasn't looking good. I was surrounded by obsidian deep underground with no obvious escape path, except for a hole dug directly down to the logout spot, which could be used to fly through to escape with an elytra. But I would have to get through the obsidian trap first, and by then, I probably would have already been killed. I obviously needed some help from some other 2B2T players. This is where 2 very skilled crystal PvPers, the Op Legends and Lana, would come into play. The idea was that they would station themselves just outside of render distance and would swoop in, down the hole, and either kill or distract the camper while I made my escape. This was also quite risky because what if the camper didn't die? Or I somehow missed the hole when trying to fly out. But then, I was reminded about ender pearls. You see, if I set an ender pearl somewhere, before I even got into this mess, someone could load it right after I log on. And luckily, I did have one set at a location very far away, but only one, so there would only be a single chance to make this work. Now that the final plan was in place, we all got into position, and and it was a go. The Op Legends and Lana swooped in with no hesitation and started battling the camper. Another player named Dusty was on standby to load my Pearl at any moment. After around a minute of PvP, the camper was far enough away from my logout spot, so I logged in.
Load it, load it, load it, load it, load it, load it. Yes, it works, it works, it works! Oh my god, it worked!
Wie er sich freut. Alter, was für No-Lives. Get wrecked.
Get out, babe. Fly out. Fly out, right where it is. Fly out. Get out of there. Get out of there! The great escape! Yes!
After extremely careful planning and coordination, and with the help of some friends, I escaped the lockout trap.
I interviewed the owners of every popular Minecraft client in the industry. Collectively, they have hundreds of thousands of players online as I record this, and millions more each month, which is honestly shocking because I've never felt compelled to use one. But I did all of this to answer one question. What really happened? Because as massive as these clients are, their paths are incredibly murky and full of misinformation. Like when I made my modding video, I briefly mentioned Lunar Client and I got a couple things wrong. Normally I find this out through the comments, but this time was different. The history of clients is misunderstood. The only person to correct me was the fucking CEO. So let me take you through everything I learned, including some details that aren't known to the public. And because I'm so generous, I took the time to neatly package all of it into a 15-minute Minecraft documentary. And by that I mean 9 goddamn months. Psst. If you don't know what a client is, it's basically like a third-party Minecraft launcher that usually has a bunch of mods built in. So, back in 2016, this guy J-Halt had a Minecraft server called MineHQ. Not to be confused with J-Schlatt, he's in the last video. The server had an iron grip on the PvP community, with players on there practicing Minecraft tactics for hours like W-tap and combo. But like modern Minecraft servers, MineHQ occasionally had downtimes to develop and release a new season. And another server owner, Brendan, saw this as an opportunity. He could create his own server and give all the homeless players a new PvP lounge. So that's what he called it, PvP Lounge. And it was a success, at least until MineHQ launched their new season, and J-Halt showed some of his true colors. First, he bought up the PvP Lounge domain before Brendan could register it and redirected it to MineHQ. He also talked the out of them.
You can pay $10 to get it's right here on Lounge.
Then one of MineHQ's other owners went even further.
I'm closing in, Jenny. My botnet is syncopated to initialize the dedicated denial of whatever it's called. Yeah! Mission accomplished, Jenny. A return to HQ. Jenny? Damn it! I should have known better. Of course I don't know any women.
The nuclear warhead managed to temporarily knock down PvP Lounge's server. So because of all the bullshit from MineHQ, and also because MineHQ was more established to begin with, it regained its dominance over the PvP community. And for now, there was nothing Brendan could do. But he held a grudge, and this wouldn't be the last time we hear of him. Fast forward a few months, and J-Halt was starting to notice his server had a cheater problem. I'm assuming he was like blind before or something. But he and his team came up with a solution to it. One that would become known as the first Minecraft client ever and would inspire every client since. Cheatbreaker. The main feature of Cheatbreaker was its anti-cheat. It scanned players' actual computers for Minecraft hacks, which server anti-cheat plugins couldn't do. Initially, the client was whitelisted and mostly given to content creators, but hype was growing fast, especially with all the other cool shit he was adding. It's like candy to a baby, except to 13-year-old boys. And with the growing excitement, J-Halt decided to release it to the public. The client picked up a lot of steam right off the bat. This was possibly the only time in Minecraft history where a server just solved hacking. But it all came to a screeching halt when... Okay, remember when I said he showed some of his true colors? Well, he's an alleged pedophile. I guess those were the rest of his true colors. After he was exposed, he mostly disappeared, leaving MineHQ's staff to deal with the mess left behind. But he still had exclusive control of everything, so the staff eventually just had to shut it down, with Cheatbreaker ending along with it. Also, in case you were wondering, J-Schlatt is not a pedophile. So far, all of this has been pretty niche, but a much larger company has had a close eye on everything going on. In fact, the largest esports organizer in the world, ESL, saw what was going on, and they wanted to make money. They bought out another PvP server called Bad Lion Network, which was owned by Archibot and Master G-Berry. And since Cheatbreaker was so successful, ESL spent the next 2 years developing a Badlion client to go with the server. But during Badlion's development, Cheatbreaker's former staff were given permission to use its old code, and they started their own client, Lunar. While I'm glad Lunar left all the shitty people behind, that also meant they left all of their developers. So Lunar's owners had to learn to code clients as they went. Because of this, after Badlion was released in 2018, it took Lunar another year to finish. Badlion was left unchecked and able to establish itself early on, and when Lunar did launch, it only supported version 1.7. Badlion supported like all of them. Also, by the way, Badlion's legal team wouldn't let anyone say much to me, so keep that in mind. It's very possible I missed things that make this look a little better for them. Near the end of 2019, Lunar was finally able to hire a proper developer for the client. This led to support for 1.8, which was huge, but Badlion had a much bigger team to code new features. Plus, they used the strategy of partnering with YouTubers and received a huge amount of exposure through it. But behind the scenes, things weren't so clear-cut. The communication with partnered YouTubers was apparently very bad.
Well, Morton's going. Poison gets down. 784. 1 HP. 1 HP. Oh my God. Surgical Goblet does it. Liquid.
Siop will go with a, I believe it was the P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Giant Rage deck, a really easy to use deck here in game number 1. I'd be surprised to see him be that predictable.
And looks like he's not going to. There was a lot of people I talked to that thought it might actually even just be Peck in the back first play. But that's not what we're seeing here, with, especially with the Evo Ice Spirit.
Shades of Hog so far from Mohamed Light. And Royal Giant, something that LCOP did run a lot during his qualifying stages in the CRCC to make this World Championship. Did not typically run it with the Ice Riz, ran a different construction, but curious to see what he has in store for us here.
Monk ability going to drop down to deflect that Archer Queen ability. The Fisherman as well trying to lock onto a cannon. Roll Delivery dropping down. Interesting matchup so far. It's the standard Pigs Earthquake versus a Roll Giant Monk. That Monk is going to be very useful versus the Queen the entire match.
First minute away, and so far just a little bit of chip in both directions. You can see, look at the expressions on their faces, right? You see some deep breaths here. Even for two of the most experienced former world champions, you cannot replicate what it feels like when it's finally happening.
Pigs at the bridge. Does he have the fireball? He does. Wow, this is a great situation for LCOP. A lot of the time you might see a lightning or maybe even an earthquake with Royal Giant, but that fireball is going to make it so Mohamed actually has to split his pigs and split his damage across the towers.
Something he's very good at traditionally, very good at early on, getting dual lane pressure and damage. We'll see if he gets that done here today. The Evo RG drops in the back as we go towards our double elixir time.
I talked to Mohamed Light and Riley and others, and they said LCOP is a great player, but maybe his deck picking isn't up to par. But after seeing this, maybe he was, I don't know. I don't think that's true, because this is a great matchup for LCOP.
And Pigs in, LCOP back to 4, Fireball able to clear the log for the Evo Skeletons, and the RG doesn't get the damage LCOP wants, gets a little bit in, but a fairly solid job by Mo to mitigate that damage despite the great play of LCOP.
Roll Giant in the back yet again, and we know there's going to be another Monk in front of that to stop the Archer Queen. And it's really only going to get worse. Later in the match, we're going to see 2 Roll Giants on the board on each side, which is very difficult to deal with, especially when you don't have a solid tank in your deck.
EQ in early, and Mohamed Light maybe trying to figure out what's going to be the mathematics to get his damage in, and now we go aggressive. RG at the bridge, left-hand lane, switching sides. This one, though, getting handled by the cannon of the Archer Queen. Guard does get a couple of stabs.
Monk, same lane as the Queen yet again, and here comes the split bigs I was talking about. You have to choose which side to fireball. Fireball on the right, guards on the left. Will Muhammad get a second Archer Queen ability? Yes, he has it available, but he's not going to use it. Elsiop with the Monk ability to prevent.
Lead now for Mohamed in sudden death overtime. 24-62, top right-hand side of your screen. 23-88 on the bottom. Evo, Ice Spirit plus Cannon to hold against the Royal Giant.
Bigs right away. I really like this pressure while defending, forcing the fireball defense, using the log as well. Elsiop knows that this game is very close, and wow, and the Ice Spirit doesn't jump.
Was that an overspend by Elsiop with the fireball and the log there? I know he wanted to mitigate all the damage, but you know, instead of a positive trade, now he had a negative one.
Yeah, and the Queen's still alive. He has to log, and here comes the pigs. And watch out for those Evo skeletons. He has to fireball, but look at the damage to the right-hand side.
And you saw he had to wait to make sure that the Evo skeletons and the two pigs were together. Pressure from Mohamed Light now giving him the lead with 1:08 left. Keep in mind that while Elsiop does have fireball and log, there's almost no way they're going into a spell cycle situation with his defensive needs.
And here comes the pigs right away with the pre-log plus pre-quake on the guards, allowing for so much damage to come through with these piggies. Elsiop needs to bounce back with a double Royal Giant push if he's going to make this comeback.
Does he double up on that left-hand side, or does he go left-right here? We see the guards and the fishermen on the right-hand side. Evo Skellies, Ice Wiz plus log to clear. Evo RG still fairly healthy. Second Royal Giant right behind it. He needs to break through here. Can he do it?
The Monk is deflecting the Queen and the Cannon. The Royal Giant is walking through. Log dropping down. Ice Spirit does get taken out. Evo Ice Spirit jumps. No, Evo Ice Spirit jumps, and that Royal Giant is locked down.
That cannon, the cycle of Mohamed Light. Picture perfect. Can he hold on? 11 more seconds. This is looking good for Mohamed Light. Cannon to hold. 6 seconds left. Fireball trying to clear. Royal Giant stuck by the cannon, and Mohamed Light wins game number 1.
And that is the defense that we know Mohamed Light for. The Archer Queen, the Cannon cycle, the perfect Ice Spirit placement. I mean, everything was perfect to a T there. Mohamed Light showing why he is the best player in the world.
And here for their number 2 matchup. The loser here will face the loser of our next match between Lucas and Greco, and Drill for Elsiop.
And a P.E.K.K.A. from Mo. This is the deck that Mo was expecting Elsiop to play. Elsiop really going completely different. And speaking of completely different, we see the Cannoneer Tower. Now that is really not a tower that I expected to see very often during this tournament, just because it recently got nerfed. But it seems to be doing very well versus this P.E.K.K.A.
And it's Drill, Wall Breakers, the 2 Evos he's choosing as well. Doesn't get the connection courtesy of the Rage. A little funny here to see Mo and Jules talking about this deck all week. This is the deck they expect him to go game number 1, and then see them bring it out alongside our newest champion.
Here comes yet another Drill. Next Drill will be Evo. I love the placement, pulling everything backwards, allowing the Ghost to splash and connect on tower. Good Fisherman to prevent that second hit, though.
First blood, first significant blood drawn by Mohamed Light, but lead back now. Whoa, Royal Giant in here. This is a whole lot of fun.
The Royal Giant Gobsine ability is unnecessary. The Dark Goblin gets aired out. This Royal Giant extremely healthy on top of this tower. This tower is taking a beating.
The stun certainly mitigating some of that, but down to 16:02. And now we'll see, can he make some headway in the opposite direction? One wall breaker pulled, one does connect. Bandit dashes in, guards to hold, but this is a lot of damage going in the opposite way.
Wow, I mean, both players very light in the defense, very aggressive on the offense, and here comes the offense yet again, the Evo Goblin Drill. What does Mo have to deal with this? The Rage is not what you're looking for.
Snowball in to slow the tower and get a little bit extra damage on there. Now Evo Wall Breakers with the action on the back. And no ability here, down to 220. Full connection, and Mohamed Light's in trouble in game 2.
And this is a deck LCOP is known for, whether it be Cannon Card Bridge Spam with the Ram Rider or a Goblin Drill Bridge Spam. He knows how to keep that elixir and apply that pressure. The only question is, can Mo break through with his Evo P.E.K.K.A?
So far, so good holding. Bandit dashes at a great time, takes both the P.E.K.K.A and helps cover against the Doctor. Here we go, drill in, 195 remaining, snowball down, 25 HP, 21, gets the stab. Elsiop has the tower down. Can he defend for 19 seconds?
Here comes the Goblinstein and the Fisherman and the guards. The cannon does not pull. Evil Roll Giant is in cycle. Here comes the Goblinstein ability. Roll Giant is distracted though by the cannon and the Goblin Drill. I think he's got this defense.
Oh my word. This is what you want. Champion versus champion. Game number 3, here we come.
Oh my gosh, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about in the intro. This is art. I love watching this. This is perfect Clash Royale gameplay.
And soft murmur as everyone's sitting doing what we're doing, trying to figure out what are they going to do next.
Yeah, let's find out right now as both players are reaching 10 elixir. We say a cage right away from Mo, Goblin Gang from Elsiop, maybe the Mortar deck from Elsiop, and Mo, I know he likes to play Evo Cage even with cycle decks, so it's not guaranteed to be down here.
Elsiop did play some bait, of course, now that we see the Lightning Dragon, probably not the Electro Dragon, but for a moment, maybe. And Loon.
Wow. So he is going to the skies. And Mo, you are correct. We do see bait. Cage on the board here. The Cage is not really the building you want to have versus this balloon. You'd much rather have a Tesla.
Shouldn't get a drop, but will get death damage as the Brawler goes and gives its punch the opposite direction. Mohamed Light with damage in both lanes. Elsiop chipping that right-hand tower.
And this, once again, is just so fascinating. Elsiop, just great deck picks. He has the Barb Barrel for the Goblin Barrel. He has the arrows for the Princess. He even has the Lava Hound to tank for that balloon. What kind of air defense does Mo have for this last card? I mean, if he has a rocket, that could help, but this is looking very grim for our 2022 champion.
Little Prince and Princess both getting ready to go to work, although the Princess walking away from the Lava Hound. Cage pulls to the middle, and she does retarget towards the Evo Electro Dragon. Barb Barrel picked up by the Fire Spirit plus the Knight. Great protection by Mohamed Light.
Lava Puffs are trying to take out this Little Prince. They are successful, but the Princess will help out, and here comes the Goblin Barrel on the counter push. The Knight is tanking. Elsiop not really playing much. These Goblins are doing so much damage.
Well, maybe some cycle issues there for Elsiop. You've seen him shaking his head a lot in this matchup, and I think that maybe he got his cycle to a position where he was not happy with his ability to defend.
Yeah, he was low in elixir as well, but at least he's up about 1 elixir here. He's able to get that lava. Mo Light decided to use the Princess aggressively to apply pressure opposite lane this time.
And you see him going with the gang to clear the Princess rather than a spell, making sure he's not going to get caught flat-footed by the incoming imminent Evo Barrel.
No Evo Electro Dragon cycle. That makes defense a lot easier. And here comes the Evo Barrel, like you said. Arrows dropping the wrong one. Real Goblins to the right doing massive damage, but now he has to defend.
Lava Hound in, Balloon in, pups all around. Mohamed Light's defense is absolutely picture perfect.
Electro Dragon gets a couple shots, but he needs a lot more oomph in his push than that, and yet another Goblin Barrel.
Goes to the inside, easily read by Elsiop. And this has just been so well controlled. You were worried about the air defense, but Little Prince, Princess, Goblin Gang, and the MVP so far has been the Snowball.
Arrows dropping down the gang. Here comes the pre-snowball from Mohamed Light, forcing out the Barbarian Barrel, but now he can out-cycle with this Princess, bait out those arrows, and get another Goblin Barrel down right away.
What does Elsiop have in store to try to battle back into this one? The margins are so thin. Has to cover the left-hand side. Right-hand side is a problem. The Knight touches, down to 59 HP. Princess on the left-hand side, nothing on the right-hand side. GG, well played. Mohamed Light wins the first match of World Finals.
And
It did seem like at the end of the day the conversation was in favor of LCOP, but we know that that doesn't matter. You want 80-20s versus Mohamed Light. And Lucas on the other side of it, you saw how well he pulled things together in that Game 3 against Greco with that Golden Knight freeze NATO at the very end. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And here we go. Momo comes out. Looks like they could both be running lava.
Yeah, I mean, we see Mohamed Light shake his head, or nod his head, and then stare directly into Lucas's eyes. It could be the case, both players. Skeleton Dragons, Gob Cage from Lucas, Gob Cage, and Lava from Mo. I can guarantee you Mo is running Lava.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good call, AC, as it is on the board. And one thing I'm thinking about here is that the analysts maybe not looking for a mirror matchup in game number 1. I don't know if you're really ever looking for that type of thing, so we'll have to see how things play out here. 29-44, 27-15, first little bout in the books.
Yeah, Arrow's always a very important card in Lava mirror matches, so we're going to have to see what the final cards for Mohamed Light are. Lightning, Arrows, the spells for Lucas. Still unsure what Mohamed Light is running on his end.
And a bit of a pause here as Mo sets up the Evo cage. Lucas goes, all right, time for me to drop my first Lava Hound. I don't think we'll see 4 Lava Hounds on the board, and there you go, Lucas just going, wow, of all things that I had to run into, Lightning is out, Inferno Dragon is in, and this is going to be difficult to deal with as this game goes on.
Yeah, Mohamed Light clearly well-versed in this matchup. You want to play the Inferno Dragon as often as you can, going against the opposing Lava Hounds, and then just put your own Lava Hound in front. You're always going to be able to defend, and you're always going to get at least a little baby counter push, and we see it right here, but Lucas going to clean up everything nicely and still have a few things on the board.
Well, you see, we've got 2 kind of X-Factor cards. The Inferno, as you were just talking about in this matchup, and the other one is the card on the board right now in the Flying Machine. Not a great way to get on top of that Flying Machine and support the Lava Hound in the way that you would like.
Yeah, I mean, you have to assume with double elixir, if you're going same lane, Lucas is always going to be able to win because you have the Flying Machine, the Lightning to snipe the opposing Inferno Dragon. I love how Mohamed Light is approaching this matchup, going opposite lane and then placing his own Inferno Dragon. Let's see if Lucas is going to be able to protect it. Not going to be the case, and that Inferno Dragon from Mohamed Light going to get a ton of value right here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're talking about there, AC. Baited out in the opposite lane. Now the push dies on the vine. 1960, 24-04. Bomber now set up on the right-hand side. Now going in the same lane are Lucas and Mohamed Light. We'll see if Lucas ends up letting this go. Lightning comes in. Mo thinks that's a good idea. Ish, I would say by the look on his face. Bomber here looking for some damage. Juicy, Josh getting a nice shot in.
Yeah, right there. Predictive Inferno Dragon. He places it a full second early in the exact wrong timing for Lucas. Still places the Lava Hound down on the board. Arrow's going to clean up everything very nicely. And then, I mean, for the rest of this game, for the entire game, basically, it's just bridge lava after bridge lava, just opposite lanes from both of these players.
1862, 1960, just neck and neck here. Mohamed Light in a slight lead as he sets up Skeleton Dragons on the left-hand side.
Yeah, so it looks like the only difference between these 2 decks is Inferno Dragon and Flying Machine. And I mean, just looking at it on paper, you always are going to assume the Inferno Dragon is just going to be considerably way, way better in this matchup.
And you can see here now Lucas going to have to spend a lot defensively here. Also some guards at the bridge just a moment ago. Pressure guards that baited out Lucas's Evo Bomber. So not going to get any Evo Bomber damage from his opponent's Bomber or Cage or guards.
Yeah, right here, Luke is probably going to defensive Lightning, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Flying Machine taken out by Mohamed Light's Inferno Dragon, but Arrows on defense going to clean up everything nicely. Mo Light now taking the lead by 250 HP.
And using the lava to kite, Mo with a little bit of a smile there. That lava just a hair closer than I think it needed to be, though. It takes a lot more HP off. I think it was one more tile to the left that still would have kited and maybe not taken as much damage.
Yeah, I really think that's going to be the case, too, and that is a great Lightning from Lucas. Going to take out the Inferno Dragon entirely. Lightning coming down on offense for Mohamed
But no
Light.
arrows for defense there, AC.
And is that Bomber going to squeeze out a shot? Not yet. But still, with only 30 seconds left, Lucas needs to start playing things at the bridge. Going to go lava at the bridge, but on the right lane.
Yeah, desperation lava there. Flying Machine ends up protecting it, but Inferno's still on the board. Lightning to clean everything up, guards to pull it away. But the thing is, that lava's not going to be able to get enough damage in 13 seconds. Lucas knows it's over. Mo wins the mirror match with the Inferno.
8 seconds left. Lucas just going to activate the King Tower. Mo Light going up 1-0. And I can guarantee you that Mo, 5 seconds into the match, knew he won this game. If we could get a replay just on his face, there was a tiny little wry smile from him, and he looked directly into Lucas's eyes saying, hey, I'm winning this one.
Looks like he might have gotten that.
You know, I'd like to apologize. I think 70-30 was perfect. I don't need to change anything.
We'll talk about it off broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a really uncomfortable conversation for us.
Mom.
Probably an uncomfortable conversation between these two guys after this match is over, regardless who ends up taking the next 2 games. As we see Momo go in with a minor. Lucas trying to catch with a high knife. Ends up getting something out of it. So it looks like he might be going to exactly what we just called Magic Archer NATO.
Yeah, and right there, Lucas, the reason why the Spear Goblins look so odd is because he was just cycling to that NATO. He was 1 card away. He had to place it high enough where the Spear Goblins weren't going to try and take out the miner, instead allowing the King Tower to be activated. So it looked weird, but there was a very specific reason as to why he did it.
AC, being a former pro, when you look at this matchup, when you talk about probably not having a big spell for Lucas and this Monk is a very interesting wrinkle in this equation because of your Spears and your Magic Archer. Does this matchup can Lucas play through this? Is the Monk going to be that much of an X factor, not being able to get on top of the Phoenix as well because you don't have any sort of large spell? You don't have a way to target it other than Magic Archer. How are you feeling about this?
Great question.
Was war das für ein Bomb Tower?
It's very close. I mean, really, if you play it perfectly, the reason why all these pros love these minor Knight Magic Archer decks is because you can win against anything. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. If you get them in the wrong cycle, if you cycle correctly, the Ice Spirit gets enough value, you can always win a matchup. But I mean, going against Muhammad Light with the Monk, you know he's always going to be 1 step ahead. You try and NATO the Monk where it goes back to your same side of the arena, so that way you can't have the Crown Tower aggro get on top of it. You know he's just already thinking
that. The NATO back! The NATO back! Knight comes down, gets on top of tower. Monk distracted by the bomb. The NATO back!
Have the Crown Tower aggro get on top of it. You know he's just already thinking
the NATO back! The NATO back, Knight comes down, gets on top of tower. Monk distracted by the bomb tower. 21-49, 25-65. Goes for the catch of the bridge. Lucas knows he got. Look, Momo may not like the damage he just took, but he doesn't forget that he's still a world champion.
Man, the love between these 2 players, it's so exciting to see firsthand. I mean, Lucas just smiling immediately. It is with these top pro players, you know, you're gonna try and predict like 6 different times, and even if you only get 1, you know you won that.
Yeah, exactly. And I love to see it here. Magic Archer at the bridge, pulls back the Phoenix. Mo ready though with the Ice Spirit Skellies. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant gameplay from Mo. Problem is, AC, he's focusing so much at the bridge that Lucas is getting a ton of damage down low. So while it might look like brilliant defensive gameplay from Mo, Lucas is doing a really good job baiting things out.
Yeah, so far this Monk has not really been that much of a problem. Lucas, a tenth of a second too late. And that Magic Archer gets taken out, as well as the Spear Gobs. Muhammad Light going to town on this tower.
Wow, and Lucas making a few misplays here, having to use cards that he does not want to defend. Ends up getting the Phoenix on tower, has to use the bomb tower defensively up high, can't get on top of the miner. 18-49, 17-39. Lucas still in the lead here in game number 2 with just under 2 minutes remaining.
Knight to protect. You can never allow the Evo E-Spirit or Ice Spirit to get on top of your tower. It's just going to be too much damage. And that's a Monk and a Phoenix on the left lane. That is just one of the scariest pushes you can have, even though it's supposed to be simple to defend.
Just NATO's back that Monk, making sure it doesn't cross the bridge, then gets the Knight up high. No Monk ability in. 1702, 1592. Another miner in here from Muhammad Light, going close to the King Tower. Spear Goblin not on top of the egg. Lucas has to spend more. We got 2 Phoenixes on the left-hand side of the board.
And then the Evo Skeletons on the right is going to put in a little bit of work, and that egg, is that going to be another hatch?
Wow.
Not the case. But Muhammad Light screams into the lead, up by 260 HP. Lucas gonna need to start getting some offensive pushes, finally bringing it back just a little bit, but this is difficult for him to get damage.
You guys can see the bomb tower placements from Muhammad Light are fascinating. AC, he gets the lineup with the Phoenix though. 2 shots, 3 shots. Mo does not like that. 967. Lucas now screaming back into the lead.
Going in on offense with the miner. Muhammad Light always catching it with the Skellies. The bomb tower helping out as well.
He's not gonna NATO here. No, he does. Momo now, Monk's still alive.
Cycling the Skellies early. Knight at the bridge on the right side. And I mean, Muhammad Light finally gonna take the lead once again, but there's so much going on.
NATO comes down, Miner on top of the tower on both sides. 851, 795, 802, 746, 744. Lucas back in the lead. Mo takes it back at 697. Pressure in. 13 seconds remain.
NATO offensively plus the log. Can he catch the Miner? He does. Can he block this Miner from getting 2 shots? No. The Miner gets shots on the tower.
Mo gets it. Mo gets it. 406. 481.
Shit.
The Pharaoh stays on top. Oh my good Lord. That is a world championship match right there.
You have to worry about every single inch of the arena for the last minute of the game. How can you possibly worry about this Miner, that Miner, this Miner, that Miner? You're only going for 2 crowns. I don't know why there's so many Miners.
I don't know how he will be able to compose himself right now, but we're going to hear from him right now. Rich, what on earth did we just see?
Well, had he gone 1 tile to the right, he would have defended it cleanly and he would have had an easy win.
Right.
He cannot make that mistake.
The crowd into it here, just going into game 1. I imagine if we get into game 3, it will be silent in this room. Ice Spirit to start for Riley, and Mo with the Princess at the bridge.
Princess stopping the Ice Spirit in its tracks, getting a little bit of chip damage on top of the tower, plus the log. And Riley could be going back to the Miner Marcher. Yeah, that deck has been really, really solid this weekend.
And looking like it, seeing the Evo Knight come out here. Evo Knight plus Evo Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit, one of the strongest defensive Evos in the game as that Magic Archer comes down in the back. And what's really fascinating about this matchup is there is no big spell for Muhammad Light. So how do you take care of the Magic Archers that Riley's gonna place? And if a Magic Archer does ever get a connection at the bridge, how do you stop it?
And Molite, the way he just kind of carries himself, Riley, we heard it in the interview where, oh, how'd you know you were going to win? Well, when he played the first Goblin Barrel with Mo, he played the Goblin Barrel, no smile, no look up, no nothing. Riley just locked in and focused.
And Riley does have the Tesla. You can see there, Mo not happy about something. Not exactly sure if it was the placement or what, but doesn't get a lot out of it. Goblinstein does get on tower, not going to go for the ability. 21-62 to 2 very healthy towers for Muhammad Light.
Yeah, it really felt like Riley got a value log, was able to get the Goblin Barrel plus a little bit of damage on top of the Doctor and the Dark Goblin, and still his tower just lost 850 HP. Everything that could go right went right, and he still got tons of damage.
Alter, ist das schlecht.
And both of them surprised by this interaction because it should have done it. Now Log has speeds on the right-hand side. Goblins to the real Goblins to the left, and a great connection from Muhammad Light.
Dark Goblin getting chip damage on chip damage, getting the tower down to 2048, and that is a tough interaction to happen to you. You see it once a month, and people are complaining on Twitter. There's no time to complain. You just have to focus up and recenter yourself.
Exactly. You see Riley kind of shaking his head there. He's played through adversity so far in this tournament. Again, I've said this on stage, off stage, probably too much. Memory of a goldfish, and Riley needs to move on past this and just recognize a little mistake early on against Bait doesn't mean the game's over.
And right there, defending cleanly with the Ice Spear, but Muhammad Light 2 steps ahead, getting the Princess chip damage. And Riley going to respond with his Magic Archer of his own, finally getting just a little bit of damage on that left side.
Yeah, what a brilliant play by Muhammad Light. He goes barrel to the side, knowing troops are going to come out.
Defensive
Those Princess the bridge, knowing those troops are going to get on top. Or going to get the Princess is going to get on top of those troops.
Fully staying alive. Log should be fully staying alive. Log should be able to stop nothing because the Princess stops walking.
Mo looking for something.
Able to stop nothing because the Princess stops walking.
Mo looking for something with that. Magic Archer to snipe. Nice placement there from Riley.
And it's clear that Riley has a lot of practice in this because bridge Teslas are exactly how you want to win this. And Mo, again, stopping. And every time Riley thinks he's one step ahead.
wahrscheinlich, dass es bis um 10, halb 11 bleibt. Torschäden, aber ich